Hi, welcome to Difference Makers. My name is Darek Hahn, President and CEO of Velocity. We're an IT provider who's focused on IT leadership, and these days on leadership in our communities. And these interviews have been great. I'm excited to interview Marc Uys from the Princeton Symphony Orchestra. He's actually one of our clients, and we love working with him, and I enjoy going to concerts. And Marc, why don't you tell everybody a little about yourself and the Princeton Symphony Orchestra?
Hi, thanks, Darek. So my name is Marc Uys. I'm the Executive Director of the Princeton Symphony Orchestra. And as Darek mentioned, one of the reasons I'm able to speak to you from my home right now is precisely because of the great services provided to us by Velocity. How's that? Is that a good
Thank
plug?
you. Thank you. And sorry for butchering your last name.
So yeah, I think, well, those of us that are fortunate to be able to work, and we're working from home, and it's really interesting. I mean, it's a devastating time for many, and it's I think a difficult time at best for those who are able to continue. But I know that I'm not alone in this community, so that really helps. And we're doing our best to think positively about what is going on and what kind of opportunities actually this presents to us. I think it's forced all of us to really examine who we are and who we serve, and think about that on a very basic level, maybe in a way that we don't in amidst the rush of everything else that we usually do. And so I've really enjoyed that, the opportunity that it's really necessitated for us to be in contact with our patrons a lot more than we usually are. And that's even for an organization that prides itself on a very personal touch that we have in everything that we do. But I've certainly spoken to many of our supporters and subscribers in the last few weeks, many more than I normally would. And I've also been much more in contact with our musicians. And that's also a group that, we as an organization serve. And it's that's been a really special thing to have so much contact with them, and also to facilitate contact between them and our patrons. And I think that's been a positive experience for both of those groups of people.
Great. So we were talking earlier, and my wife and I are very into the music and get to hear it. And you guys did a concert that was very interesting a week ago or so with Rosen, the conductor. And can you tell us a little about that? Because that was really neat.
Yeah, so I'm sure by now everyone has seen at least one or two of these videos. The first thing that happened to musicians is we realized we can't be in a room together and we can't play together. And that's really a terrible thing for human beings that exist by working together and being in space together. But fortunately, we've got the technology now that enabled this to be done in some way. So there are a lot of these videos going around where each musician is playing their part at home and recording it, and then somebody very clever assembles that and lines everything up. And you get some kind of Frankenstein version of the work. And there's been some unbelievably creative and just very moving examples of this. And so we felt we needed to be part of that and do something as well. Rosen he's not just our music director, but he has several orchestras. So he involved three of his orchestras. It was the Princeton Symphony and the Chautauqua Symphony, and also the RTV Symphony Orchestra in Slovenia, to the radio TV orchestra. And we had nearly 100 musicians involved in this project, submitting videos of the beginning of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, and we were able to put those together in a really creative way. And the wonderful thing is, again, that's a way for our patrons to see people they recognize. It's somehow a lot more meaningful than watching a random video online that doesn't involve anyone And so I think that's what's really emerged for us in all of this, is just how important it is for us to have contact with people we know, and to see something familiar, feel that there's this local pride. And so I know that I've been in contact with, again, so many more community leaders than I normally would, over this period, and that's been just a wonderful atmosphere of sharing and thinking through this together and thinking about how we can best serve the people that, well, really the reason that we exist.
That's awesome. That video is on your website, right?
Yes, I believe so. Somewhere out there on Facebook or on our website.
Yeah. So if anybody's wondering, they can
Yeah.
We'll give the URL when we send this out. But you also have something coming up, right? That people can enjoy some music soon.
Right. I mean, so our last concert, as it turns out, was the last one we had. Big concert was in January, and that's a really long time ago. And we should have finished up our season in the middle of May, and we felt we didn't want to go into the summer without bringing everyone together in some way. So on May 31st at 4 p.m., so our usual Sunday at 4 p.m. slot, we're going to have a program where Rossin and I will be chatting about, I mean, in some respects, right, what we're talking about now, but more specifically, what are the PSO's plans for next season? How are we handling all of this? But also a chance to show people things that are normally difficult for us to show, such as the education programs that we do all around the community. Normally, if you come to our concert, you won't really have an opportunity to see what we're doing. And we can put a video up on our website, but then that's also a little impersonal. So now I have a chance to talk through some of those programs, show things, and that seems like a really wonderful way to share what some of that work is. And we're going to have some guest musicians on the program as well, some of our guest artists from Europe, and people calling in to have a chat and share some of their music.
That's awesome. So if anybody doesn't know, I think it's called Bravo that you do through the schools.
Correct.
Program. That's if you get a chance to check that out, that's a great effort that PSO puts on to help engage students in music. And my wife and I are big supporters of that. So, well, Mark, I really appreciate the time today, and I look forward to joining you on Sunday, a week from Sunday.
Great. Thank you so much.